Dark Souls. It's a game, but it's more than a game. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being.
I've heard that.
It is, as we've discussed on previous episodes, the sound of perseverance. That goes to, of course, Chuck Schuldiner of Death. He is the guy that really sort of emulated that sound sonically. But what in terms of ludonarrative? How can we really capture the element of perseverance through gameplay? And this is what Dark Souls comes to answer. This is what I've been discovering these past 2 weeks.
You've just been playing Dark Souls nonstop?
Yeah, I've been just playing Dark Souls nonstop. I finally got into it. I'm a Dark Souls guy now. I'm a Dark Souls cultist.
Yeah, every so often I hear about someone getting really into Dark Souls, and it's kind of, transcendental, because you're just dying and dying and dying.
Exactly. You're perfectly capturing it.
But do you feel that you've missed out at all with is there still the online element, or did that come in later?
Oh, yeah, there's still I'm playing the remastered version on Switch, and there's tons of players for that, so... yeah, there's always a player base somewhere. It's that popular of a game. It's that culty of a game.
Wow. Well,
because, once you get into it, it's famous for having just this incredibly unfun difficulty curve. And I'm talking about just the first Dark Souls game. I've only played the first Dark Souls game. There's many others in the series. I now want to play them all. I'm totally hooked. I think it's amazing. I think what it does, what it conveys, I haven't felt this crazy about a video game in a while. A video game hasn't made me feel things as Dark Souls has in a while, which is why I'm proselytizing about it.
Well, it's available on a computer and on a Switch and on a PlayStation, probably on an Xbox by now. Probably on an Xbox.
Yeah, it should get. I don't know if it's on this Xbox.
Go buy video game console. Consume.
Just consume. Let it render your soul. But in terms of like a piece of art, in terms of just like a beautiful thing, it is beautiful. That is something that I would describe as Dark Souls. Like there's so much attention paid to the architecture of each location. It's meticulously researched based off of old European designs.
Sounds like Dork Souls.
It is Dork Souls. It's absolutely dork. There's plenty of dorkiness in it. But if you're a fan of Baroque architecture, if you like cathedrals and flying buttresses, there's a lot to offer there.
Just play Assassin's Creed, do mission, collect gold.
That's true.
Do side
You can also do Assassin's Creed. But Dark Souls is, it has this incredibly melancholic overtone. Everything you do is essentially futile, but then your only hope is burning yourself alive in the end in order to start the new age of fire.
Did you just give
spoilers? And you're in this dying world.
Is that spoilers?
Who cares? It's fucking 10 years old. Who gives a shit?
Hey,
everything is spoilers.
I haven't played it. No spoilers, please.
I mean, the plot is like... Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. The plot is fucking good, too. Like, the whole deep lore of it, and, the reason why you're doing these things is because you're in this dying world where the only thing that keeps things separated is this, spiritual entity embodied by fire, right? So day and night are separated, life and death are separated, future and past are separated. But as this fire dies out, things become weird. Things start melding together. Life and death start to lose their meaning, and future and past start to lose their meaning, which is why you're undead, and you keep coming back. So, like, the internal lore of the universe justifies the game mechanics, which is, I always think that's fun, when they, like, explain in-game why you keep reviving.
Are you playing it on, like, a TV or just on the Switch handheld?
No, I was playing it on my big projector at night.
Wow, big projector.
Nice.
The resolution.
It's my big projector.
Switch to big projector. The resolution must be just amazing.
It's beautiful. It looks like a Monet painting. But yeah, it's a wonderful game. It has just wonderful looking, even though it's old and some of the textures are clunky looking, especially like on a Switch port. It just so much attention to detail. It's beautiful.
Well, I was thinking about reactionary entomologists.
Okay. What about reactionary entomologists?
Just getting really mad about being told they need to decolonize their ant colonies.
Yeah, I like the idea of woke ants saying decolonize this place.
Yeah. This would be a good Gary Larson.
It wouldn't be a good. I don't think. Did Gary Larson have any politics? He was generally environmentalist and seemed anti-authoritarian, I suppose. But I don't remember any overtly the Republicans.
No, he's anti. He's definitely environmentalist, anti-human in general.
Yeah,
humans are stupid. Watch them get killed by cows, murderous cows.
There is a shit ton of politics in Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is overtly anti-capitalist.
Yes, a lot of. I think it's in one part. It's revealed that Calvin's dad has Capital by Marx on the bookshelf somewhere.
Yeah, it's Calvin's dad is actually an Antifa member.
Probably not. I don't think it's as extreme as today's.
No, youth. You don't remember Black Bloc Calvin?
No,
you don't remember his Antifa character that he would cosplay as.
I mean,
and then Susie the Lib would be like, Calvin, you're not convincing anyone with violent tactics, and then he threw a fucking brick in her face. Well, and then Hobbes is like, you won't get any smooches like that, Susie.
He did throw Calvin does keep a snowball in his freezer until next August, and then on the first day of class brings it in a thermos, and then it's nobody expects a snowball fight in the cafeteria in August.
Then he throws it at Andy Ngo, and Andy Ngo goes to the hospital.
There have been more riots and protests, and the new thing is attacking people sitting outside of restaurants, which I think is not a good look, but pretty fun to watch.
Oh, you're referring to that one clip where the people are saying "Good Black Lives Matter"?
No. There's out of Rochester. There's been some new clips of Black Lives Matter protesters just overturning tables and chairs at people at restaurants and making the people at restaurants are fleeing in fear, helping them dine and dash probably.
I don't care. I don't care what these. Is it what is the point of this? What are they trying to do?
Oh, I mean the point. I don't know. I think it's been done before, as a protest tactic. Protesters sometimes go and they're not attacking anybody. They're just making it so uncomfortable people have to leave public places, outside cafes and such, where people are sitting and having food. Trump retweeted it today. It makes the conservatives quake in their boots because they're like, oh no, I want to go and sit at a restaurant and I don't want to be disruptive. Yeah, Rochester.
Get a garbage plate in Rochester.
Don't get one outside. You'll be
frickin'. I guess. Can you attribute it to BLM? That's the issue with saying that they're Black Lives Matter.
Yes, you can, because they had a giant Black Lives Matter flag that.
But it's is there an actual? There's an actual Black Lives Matter organization. That's the weird thing. Is Black Lives Matter is an organization, but it's also a slogan.
Well, I mean, they don't have it's not hierarchical, but I mean, this particular protest was a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah. I think that's the issue with the other issue with non-hierarchical structures is that you have to own everything that everybody does as part of your movement, because the idea of that is you're part of a radical democracy where everyone has some sort of semblance of decision-making power, or at least you delegate it to people in different municipalities.
I just started a new book called Washington's Crossing about General Washington. And in the first chapter, it talks about how he, coming from hierarchical Virginia, is put in command of a very non-hierarchical Yankee army, and the big differences and adjustments that they both had to come to for him to sort of command a radical army of, where like the army had to come to terms with the fact that they can't be commanded via a town meeting. They have to have a hierarchy, and Washington had to come to terms with the fact that people below him would like disagree with his orders. It's interesting. If these people are serious about a revolution, then they will need some form of hierarchy, I think.
Yeah. Well, has there ever been I think you could say the Viet Cong are a good example of, but they weren't like trying to revolutionize the country. They were just resisting an invading force. An invading force that was ill-prepared for the... So, no, that's not analogous at all. Forget I said anything.
Well,
forget I said anything.
It's interesting you
that.
bring it up, because Ho Chi Minh looked up to Washington, and I was thinking about how most successful revolutions have used the American Revolution as a model. And so, the fact that we've canceled the Founding Fathers will not bode well for any revolutionaries out there.
It's okay. You can cancel the Founding Fathers for being fucking slave owners and also acknowledge that, they were good generals. Like Washington. Yeah, he was the reason why he was respected is because he knew his war tactics better than everyone else. Well, right? I have no idea. I'm not a historian. You're reading the fucking Washington book.
Well, I'm reading it, so I'll let you know.
But he also owned fucking slaves, so it's like,
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Well,
just say it's fucking weird.
Wasn't weird for the time.
Well, no, it wasn't weird
wrong.
for the time.
It was definitely
yeah,
wrong. I mean,
yeah, I think that's, even if it wasn't weird for the time, the fact that you see big ass public monuments to people that very well thought your ancestors were subhuman, it's sort of fucking weird. And maybe it's okay. It's okay to not venerate the past in an attempt to understand it better. Because even, having a big public monument to a guy is a political statement. It is saying that this person is unabashedly a representation of the entire populace of this country. Mm-hmm. And it represents something good and something that we should strive for in society. Which I think is why the statue argument, holds water, right?
I disagree, but that is what you think.
Well, yeah, come on. Come at me with your disagreement. Come at me with your statue disagreement.
Are there any historical figures who are entirely good people? Are there any good, people who are blameless entirely?
No, but...
Should we have any monuments at all?
That is a question. I think that is a general question, is should we depict people as being... Because when you depict someone as a statue, it's all about veneration.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's about uncritical veneration, really. There's no, like... If it weren't, you'd have statues of Hitler everywhere. If it were all about history, you'd have big Hitler statues. Who is that man? Oh, he did a very bad thing.
Right, it's not... that's the thing is, I don't think it's about veneration of the individual, necessarily, but of the ideas that he represents.
I hope it's for that, but I think in reality, I don't think you can argue that. I think it's about putting forth, this great man idea of history. Because, which is a popular idea. Who was the philosopher who was, like, big into the great man idea of history? I forget his name.
I don't know. I know that Howard Zinn is attributed with...
he's the opposite.
Single-handedly tearing it down, which I will hope to one day refute. But I have to read Howard Zinn first, so it's on the way.
It's on the list.
Jeff Bezos is going to hand deliver it to me with an ardent plea for please tear this man down to size. Let the great men once again determine the path of history. Well, yeah, it's a blend. It's a blend of both. You have great men commanding other men. There's only a couple of times where, Robert E. Lee wanted to lead men directly into battle, and both times his men had to be like, General Lee, go back. What are you doing? What the F are you doing? Get out of here. And he obeyed them in those instances.
Fucking Robert E. Lee.
Interesting.
Fucking bullshit guy. Fucking beardo cum boy.
Okay.
Fucking beardo slavery, cumboy.
Okay.
This is now about all Robert E. Lee bashing.
I mean, he was a pretty good general.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Washington, good general. Slave owner. Lots of good generals are bad people.
I think all people are bad people.
You're right. We should start from there. So, hence, no statues.
I would no.
Unless
why not?
Everyone starts at the assumption that all people
Yeah.
are bad people, which people don't think.
Well,
Most people think they're good people.
Well, that's wrong, and that's
I know
only
they're wrong.
It's only a recent development, which is why we have a bunch of people who think they're good people saying we have to take down the statues. It's like, no,
Surprise!
We're all bad and we're all sinners.
Yeah.
But some
this
of us
is a Calvinist podcast,
right?
We've said before, this is a neo-Calvin, Calvin and Hobbes, right? We're bringing it back. That's what it was all about.
But there are
It's
some
weird
people
that-
who were a little bit less bad, and we have the statues of them. Because the thing about it, if we're going to have statues of anyone from that era, we should have the statues of people who were less bad than their peers, which is why we have a statue of Washington.
Yeah, but why are there not more like Thomas Paine statues?
I
Because
don't know.
Because he didn't own no slaves.
The
But he's
point,
the guy that wrote Common Sense.
the point
he was
of
an
Washington
abolitionist.
is that he was less bad than the people around him, which is why we have because it's.
But they're Jefferson monuments, and Jefferson
Yeah,
was like one of the worst.
No, he wasn't. He was one of the greatest. And so
Okay.
the reason we have these statues is reminding us that we're trying to be less bad, and it's showing evidence of the fact that it's possible.
Mm-hmm. But what about the founding mothers? No, but also, I think that argument is good if it were more about, depicting them as human. Maybe if they were human-sized or something. But I think depicting them as, like, gigantic, larger-than-life figures, sort of goes in step with America's general Roman obsession. The fact that there are big white columns everywhere, they're housed in acropolises, they're larger than life figures. It does speak of a very empire-like obsession with venerating the past as if they were gods. I don't think it's necessarily realistic to say that it's all about remembering the past and how we can do better and how these people did better, because I think what a lot of people interpret it as is these guys had it right. Let's stick by their moral standard forever.
I don't know. I don't think that's only what people think if that's what they're taught. And if they're taught that, then that's being taught the wrong way. So
I would agree, but I think that's what most people are taught. I think especially in regard to, how you're supposed to interpret public works or money given to public art. This is here because it represents something important, not just important, but good, something to strive for. I guess there are, Holocaust memorials or Vietnam memorials, but that shit's usually pretty somber.
Yeah, well,
it's not like
Diego Rivera
a big
murals.
guy on a horse or something like that.
Should we allow Diego Rivera murals?
Yeah, because they're cool.
I don't know. Any public art at all, it might be too inflaming to the senses.
There you go. But, there's a difference between what Diego Rivera did and, people having to live with the reality that the founding of their country is by these people that own slaves. It's even if they were more progressive, that's still hard to reconcile,
I don't really know that. I know that it's progressed to the point where the town of Monroe, Michigan, is debating whether or not to remove a statue of Custer, who was
Custer's pretty bad.
No. Oh no, he's not. He's extremely heroic for fighting for the Union in the Civil War, and that's why there's a monument.
But he was also a slaughterer of indigenous people.
Right.
A massive
so he did good and
of
bad
indigenous
things,
people.
and he was also slaughtered by in turn.
Yes, which was cool.
I guess.
Because they're the
underdogs. Or it's just another aspect of our history, and we have monuments to people who've done good and bad things.
Mm-hmm. what is like? It's not that it's. I think it'd be okay to have a monument to Custer, but it's sort of like depicting them in that way. I think there is a way to have public monuments. Like the Vietnam War Memorial is sort of like a perfect example, where I think the person who submitted that was an art student, I want to say at Harvard or somewhere, and like it was really somber and dark. You know, initially they wanted like big Iwo Jima war statues, but if you've been to the Vietnam War Memorial, it's just this black granite block, and it really depicts, you know, the somberness of what a war memorial should be. Whereas if you go to like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, it's like a big soldier guy, and it's all about the glory of war and the glory of man. So I think in public works is a way to distribute propaganda about stuff. And I think that's what's sort of subversive about the Vietnam War Memorial, is it's like this thing funded by government money that tacitly admits that this thing was like this total horrifying fuck up, and there was no joy or glory in it.
I think it was a pretty controversial at the time, I think.
Yeah.
I remember
it's
reading
no
an
longer,
article.
it's now seen as beautiful. Yeah. It's now seen as like a canonical piece of, but I think that is like, in terms of like public art, I think that's sort of a better direction to go than big old statues, which is sort of like this holdover from more eras obsessed with imperialism and the veneration of great men. I think public plaques...
Because the communists didn't do that either, right?
They did, of course. And that was fucked
giant-ass statues of Lenin everywhere.
I know. It's weird. It's super fucking weird. I'm saying those giant-ass Lenin statues are also bad. Because it creates bias automatically. When you have a big, giant man, it sort of impedes your idea to think critically about that figure without thinking them as larger than life.
I just like a nice obelisk with a couple of domes next to it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? You know what I mean? Just a nice
Shapes.
obelisk and a couple of domes.
Exactly. Shapes and plaques. Let's stick to shapes and plaques, okay? No more dudes.
Just 2 half domes and a big obelisk coming in between them.
You can have text. You can talk about them. Although I was talking about this subject with other people and they said, look, what if we had like, because in Canada, the guy who they're mad about the statues is John A. MacDonald. Yeah. Because he was, well, the funny thing about John A. MacDonald is even for his time, he was extremely hateful of indigenous people. Like, you can't use the argument like for his time. No, John A. MacDonald for his time was crazy about killing indigenous people. Or if not killing them, running so roughshod over their rights as the killing would be incidental to any policy that he would commit to. Famously hanging Louis Riel, who fought for those rights, and is now recognized as somewhat of a hero, who there's also big statues to, but there probably shouldn't be statues to anybody. We're talking shapes and plaques.
Just Jimi Hendrix, man.
Just Jimi Hendrix, man. Just only statues of Jimi Hendrix. Or like, you know what I like? Only statues of fictional characters. I think there should only be big statues of fictional characters. Because you can really control the narrative of those.
Great. Well, that's great.
Characters.
Then we can have statues of Washington and
because, there you go.
Because he really was Adam Weishaupt.
It's gonna be a statue of Jefferson, but just Daveed Diggs from Hamilton.
No, it's because Washington was really a man named Adam Weishaupt who founded the Illuminati.
There you go. What? Is that a theory? Is that an actual theory that Washington was secretly Jewish?
What? Oh my! You don't know this theory? No, it's
no, tell me. I think that's very funny.
Washington is the man. Washington is actually a man called Adam Weishaupt who founded the Illuminati. He's not Jewish. He's German. Maybe he's Jewish. I don't know. But it's a very common theory for the Illuminati people. Adam Weishaupt was a Freemason who founded the Illuminati. Bavarian.
Adam Weishaupt. I haven't heard that before.
Oh, boy.
That's very funny.
Oh boy, you got to check it out.
Adam Weishaupt. Hello. I am secretly puppeteering. It's a very Jewy name.
Okay,
it's like they decided on the most.
He's Bavarian.
He's Bavarian.
Yeah, he's not Jewish.
That's weird.
He was a Protestant.
Oh, okay. Adam Weishaupt.
Yeah. Actually, I think he may have even been Catholic. But yeah, he started the Illuminati. He founded the Order of the Illuminati.
There you go. That's great.
And so there was no. That's always my my deflection for arguments about Washington is going from now on going to be like, oh, you mean Adam Weiss helped?
You mean Adam Weiss helped?
Because you mean the Illuminati?
Yeah. But I would never deny. Let's get back to Washington. Getting back to Washington, I think Washington. You're absolutely correct. He was a better dude than a lot of the dudes at the time, especially like people forget, the varying opinions of the 13 colonies. He was a better dude compared to John Adams. He was a better dude than any of the fucking North Carolina dudes. He was a fucking portraying him as a big giant guy. Washington, 12 feet tall, made of radiation. He's coming for you. I think that is where my beef is. I think the depiction of people does have an effect on the public consciousness and perception of that person, and especially when we're using public money to fund it. I mean, if you have if you own a building, or if you have private land, go ahead, put up your statue of Washington, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, I just disagree with that. That's, the point of government is to instill a set of values, and doing it through symbolism and monuments is part of that. So,
but why can't we do it through abstract monuments?
Because
obelisks and domes.
That kind of that. I mean, yeah, we have this. The CIA funded modern art and mostly created it.
That is true. They
tried
to hyper-normalize everything.
Yeah, they were like, we can make art better than the Soviets can. They can't.
And Adorno and the Frankfurt School fell for it. They were appreciating modern art.
Yeah, more like the Frankfurt School.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was Schoenberg... Is that music apolitical even? Would you call it apolitical?
I don't know. What is your dog thumping his tail on something?
No, someone's hammering something in the apartment next door.
Tell him to shut the fuck up. Tell him to shut the fuck up.
I'll hit the wall with a broom.
Is Schoenberg political? I don't know. There's some people arguing on Twitter like everything that's political.
Well, everything is political, but some things are more explicitly...
All art is political.
I'm trying to think of, there aren't a lot of composers that have, insert overt leftism into their music. There's not even modern composers that I can think of. But,
well, I see that
Wagner is quite right-wing, even in the content of the lyrical content of the operas.
I'm seeing that
a right-wing
the
stance.
Nazi Party labeled Schoenberg as degenerate.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, he was Jewish. It is. I would say that. That's the thing about modern art is that Nazis hate it. The Fash hates it.
Yeah,
but
they do.
Neoliberal capitalism loves it because it is the best way to commodify dissent.
Did you see Marianne Williamson today was like, yes, neoliberalism sucks. It's terrible. I hate it, but it is not fascism. And people going nuts in her in the replies, which is directly what we're talking about. It's very interesting because I mean, I don't know. I like modern art. I like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
I kind of like him even
Kandinsky.
more.
I love all that shit.
I kind of like Jackson Pollock more, knowing that the CIA was paid for his paintings.
I mean, the CIA probably was secretly funding Diego Rivera. No, the CIA didn't exist at that time.
That was the FBI.
That was the FBI. They were funding Diego Rivera. Frida Kahlo was getting mad FBI money.
No, FBI was not funding any art, I don't think. There's a bunch of lunkheads.
We were funding it. What are you... Yeah. I'd like to do a show and redo all the shows that depict anyone in the FBI. I've been watching a lot of Mindhunter, but just depict them all as, we gotta find a serial killer, boss. What are we looking into places that they like the little kids, boss? Okay. All right, depict everyone as a moron. Or the X-Files just has David Duchovny as, we gotta find some ghosts, Scully. And this is not a jab at the mentally handicapped. They're just dumb people, like in classic cartoons.
Yeah, classic cartoons
just dummies.
that never
Just
ever
dummies. The cartoon
punch
dummies.
down, like the classic cartoons of yore that would never punch down ever.
Never. They would never punch down. They would never depict certain people in a certain way.
Yeah, like Disney cartoons, you know, like Song
Warner
of the
Bros.
South.
Cartoons. Yes. Whoa.
They just
Yeah.
they decanonized Zippity Doo-Dah. I saw.
Oh, that's a good song.
Well, you know,
Even though it is a slave ballad.
Yeah. If the thing about your anti-statue thing is like if you're that anti-statue, you got to be anti-Marvel.
I am anti-Marvel.
Good.
I still like it.
Good. No. Good. Good. That's me rubbing my hands together. Good.
Well, of course I'm anti-Marvel. And Marvel is the worst. It is military propaganda. It is just since day one. It's since Iron Man 1, they've always received
Iron Man.
Iron Man, but that's a classic. Everyone has done that joke. Spider-Man, Batman,
Spider-Man.
They're Jew. They're all Jews. Yeah. But in Iron Man 1, it is a big military show.
Iron Man 1.
The thing is, Tony Stark realizes... The arc of that movie is Tony Stark realizes, Stark technology is being used by terrorists, and so making weapons is not that bad. How does he solve it? By making the best weapon. It's the dumbest arc on Earth. It always argues that the only problem with military force is that it's not elegant enough, which is, the drone bomb argument, which is like, if we go in there, do tactical, kinetic strikes... like Iron Man, with his arc reactor, his super technology, we can put war down to a science. And that's the point of Iron Man. It's always been a gigantic fucking advertisement for the American military and American involvement in Middle Eastern affairs. Iron Man, a private citizen, goes into a warring Middle Eastern country and just blows up a bunch of dudes for revenge. And do you know how much fucking fallout that... It's so infuriating.
Yeah.
It's like...
George Lucas had better takes on war, or at least attempted to, I think, with that second Star Wars, the Drone Wars.
The drone war... Attack of the
Clones. I think he attempted to have some kind of war message, but it got kind of lost in the fact that half of them were robots.
Yes. They were all robots.
Good old-fashioned Total War.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Total War.
Don't
that's why we need royals, to just get us into a state of total war every 40 years. Make men out of us.
Yeah, instead we have just weirdo PMC aristocrats. Just get into your box and
don't
type that.
Fight. Indulge. Yeah. We're Brave New World. We're not.
We're going.
We'd all rather be in Hunger Games.
We're
but
going
we're
Brave
all just
New World.
in Brave New World.
Hell yeah, we are. And it's terrible.
Huxley was right on the money.
They're gonna force
right
us all,
on the money.
They're gonna force us all to become polyamorists. God damn it! I don't.
Hell yeah!
I want to be monogamous.
I want to be asexual.
That's illegal.
No, I just want to watch. I just want to watch and jack off. Just let me do that. Just let me do it in a corner, hunched over, like a common goblin.
So let's brainstorm.
There's a boiler there.
Let's brainstorm what your neighbor is hammering. I'm guessing they're hammering a box to hide bodies in.
They hammer in a big fucking coffin.
Yeah.
A big fucking coffin for a big fucking Italian man.
They can probably hear you. Be quiet. Oh my God.
That's all right. I don't care. They're ruining the podcast.
Everyone has a podcast now. It's great. They're probably hammering for their podcast.
Yeah, they're doing. It's the Hammer Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today I'm hammering with a size 24 hammer. It's got a wooden handle. Of course, I only hammer with wooden handle hammers. Wooden handle hammers.
Yeah. This is different from the 36A model, which is used primarily. You can see it used on the set of Suits, if you look hard enough. I'm the pop culture guy. I talk about hammers in pop culture.
You can hammer in the morning.
And I'm from Boston.
Oh, Boston. How's Boston doing lately? Haven't checked in on the city of Boston.
Boston strong.
Oh, shit. Still?
Okay, here's my new character. It's Mark Wahlberg, but he just started reading. He started reading Das Kapital, and he's called Marky Marx. Oh man, they're taking the surplus value of our labor. capitalism is a vampire, bro. Oh. Did you notice? Did you discover it? I didn't notice before.
No, he'll never. He has his Wahlburgers.
Yeah, but he's incredulous. What if we're not paying our workers enough? I just thought about, how they're really contributing the most labor to us, even though we're like the idea men.
Bro,
we're just the owners, right? We're not producing anything.
Bro, did you just try to unionize? Bro, what? Oh, awesome. Bro.
Oh, that's great. I've been reading a lot about this UG Debs.
I don't know if you saw on
I
Twitter.
can't commit to leftist Wahlberg anymore.
When the NBA did its 2-day strike, did you see all those calls for
Wildcat strike.
A general strike? That was like, now
yeah,
we need a general strike.
I don't think the NBA
no,
can
we
mobilize
need
it.
now comes the general strike. Okay.
I mean, that would be cool if we could do... See, the problem with it, we need to memify it, like the Area 51 meme.
It's impossible. A
It's
general
not
strike
impossible.
is impossible right now.
We need to create the perfect meme.
Oh.
We need to... that is what mobilizing a general strike is, after all.
I mean, I was trying to create a meme today of, Washington crossing the Delaware, except it's Boris Johnson's face. For just trying to make some spicy Brexit memes.
There you go. To piss off... I gotta piss off the fucking turtles up there in England. I don't know. What do you call limeys?
It's a way to piss off both Americans and British people.
Bojo crossing
just be
the
like,
Delaware.
Boris Johnson is the British version of General George Washington.
He is hilarious looking. He's like if you brought a spitting image puppet to life. That guy... It was made to be. He was the man who would be king. From the very moment I saw him, I knew that he would be eventually leading England into a brave new era.
Well, I mean, they're still doing. I seeing today. They're on their 8th attempt at Brexit negotiations. I mean, they've done it. They've done Brexit, but they're still negotiating the deal, and they may end up with no deal. And I think they have until December 31st. So
they'll just extend it.
That'd be so lame.
No, you can't get Brexit done. It's a Gordian knot. You just have to do. The only way to do it is to do no deal Brexit, and then you just take the L. That's the only way you have to do it. You just got to slice through the Gordian nut. Otherwise, you're fucked.
I want the no-deal Brexit. I want it.
No deal Brexit. England is fucked.
No, because then it'll benefit you too. Because then it's not England is fucked. It's like, England has to make a trade deal with Canada and America, and it will be good for us. And we will benefit.
Oh, we'll be getting Cadbury's for real cheap now.
Yes, we will. We're getting lorries.
Yeah, Re-Commonwealth. I think we've talked about the Re-Commonwealth before.
Oh, I would love to Re-Commonwealth it up.
Return to Kings, Re-Commonwealth,
yeah.
Dark Souls, Medieval Times, Going Back, Cyclical Times, Tech Castles. We're going back. It's Tech Castles. It's medieval technology. That's going to be the new trend. And we're anachronistic medieval things.
We'll have
but they have technology.
You're going to have neo-feudalism too, with the stonks and the Federal Reserve printing money like crazy, and everyone with the I think the Federal Reserve is basically begging for universal basic income at this point to solve the debt thing that's going on, because we have more debt than actual money right now, and so the way to and the reason why inflation won't happen with UBI is ingenious, because we have more debt than money. So when we do UBI, most Americans will just take the money and pay off some debt with it. So it won't cause inflation, because there won't be goods for money. It'll just be like, okay, now I can pay down part of my credit card.
Ah, cool. I love how just everything is nothing.
Right, everything, yeah. But
I just like how we made this system up, and we can just artificially, we can just divide by 0, and then everything is fine.
It's going to be very funny. The future of the economy is very funny.
It turns out monetary policy is just, it's just nothing. It's just built on sand. We can just say it is something else now, and then it is.
Yeah.
That's why, the incrementalism arguments are always sort of weird to me. It's like, no, we can just radically change up our monetary policy, and have done before, and it has worked out.
I mean, I think eventually it leads to some bad things, but way down the line, and we won't be alive.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Black pills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pills held black.
Yeah. It's gonna lead to a war, but that's okay. We'll just beat China at their own game. And what is their game? I think it's known as Go.
That's pretty good. Yes, China's game. What is China's game? Take over Africa.
Get all the resources.
The same game as the new boss. Same as the old boss.
Yeah, I think their ultimate game is try to have eventually become the world's economic power. And
but why? What motivates Xi Jinping?
I was seeing that maybe his motivations are somewhat personal, and that he had family that were horribly treated in the Cultural Revolution, and so
he got sent out to the farm in the Cultural Revolution.
And I think his parents were fucked up by it, and so part of his motivation is not letting China return to such a state, and so it's not even that he has an end goal. It's more just the fear of and desire to keep China from disintegrating into something like that before, to prove that that his parents were not killed in vain, basically. So that's
fear of a Mao planet,
right?
See, I like it when they have personal motivations like that.
Yeah, no, it's scary.
That's what makes Trump such a compelling character. Is his psychology is so interesting, and that's what people speculate on the most. Is because it's very easy. With a lot of people, with the question is, what makes a man start fires? With someone like Mitt Romney, that shit is inscrutable. He's just like this religious quant blank slate guy. But with Trump, because he's a uniquely emotional political figure, it is easy to speculate on why he does the things he does. Either because of his intense daddy issues, or because of, some hole in his heart, or some sort of spiteful vindictiveness. It makes him human in a way that other presidents are not. I can relate to Trump. I can't relate to Barack Obama.
What's your take on Trump calling the troops losers?
They are losers.
So funny. Do you think he really said it, though?
Wait, when did he call the troops? What is that
he didn't want to go to the war memorial in France, and he said it was because it was raining, but it was actually because he called them losers. And some guy named Jeffrey Goldberg, who manufactured consent for the Iraq War with lying articles in the past, has now come out with this article saying Trump called the troops losers. It's obviously
the troops are losers.
It's obviously a ploy to get the military not on his side somehow. Whether or not he actually said it, I think he probably said something close to that.
Well, did you see those poll numbers, which shows Biden now roundly beats Donald Trump in military votes?
Yeah.
Where before... Which people were saying it's significant. I don't think it's that significant. I don't think military is that much of an influential voting bloc. Especially, spread out over all 50 states.
They're not that big.
Yeah. But I think it's, indicative of the military's perception of Trump. I mean, because a lot of it was he got a lot of military support because of his populist sort of blink, squint your eyes and you'll almost see an anti-imperialist sentiment where he's like, I'm gonna get you boys out of the war, Iraq war was a terrible mistake, should have never been in there. And there is a lot of sentiment of that in the military that feels that we are frivolously deploying troops to places, and so he won a lot of people over with that.
Yeah,
and then of course he didn't deliver.
The officer class will not be pro-Trump, but the rank and file, I think, are probably pretty pro-Trump.
Yeah, but now not even, because he promised them more benefits. He said Trump fixed the VA. Trump did not fix the VA.
Well, he could not. If he's smart, he'd turn that into the Democrats stopped me, but they won't be so lucky next time.
Have I told you about my VA theory?
No.
I think it should. I've told you my bullshit VA theory is that if there were to ever be a Democrat House and Senate, together at the same time, they should really focus on reforming the VA especially with respect to universalized healthcare. Just like dump tons and tons of fucking money into it, because the VA is how like a lot of like working class Americans first experience their frontline experience with universalized healthcare, because that's what the Army is supposed to do. It's supposed to, you know, erect a systemic system for you to profit off of. You're laying your life on the line because now you get protected by it. So because it's a person's frontline interaction, or a person that would normally be opposed to universal health care, because, you know, they fit into that demographic which still very much appreciates capitalism.
That's close to how
appreciates sort of this
that's
capitalism.
close to how I would implement universal health care, which is making the VA great and then making national service mandatory.
Yeah.
And then boom, everybody has health care because everybody's in the military or doing national civil service. And the VA will also, there'll be a, you know, corresponding thing for people in the civil service. And
that's pretty, it's European of you.
Oh.
And Israeli.
Yeah, you know.
But
America should become like Switzerland.
A big neutral place. Yeah. I mean, it already prides itself. If there is no difference between, you know, Nazis and Antifa, it is already supposed to be Mr. Neutral Place. We should have each state we should just make Oregon, just give it to the Nazis.
Dude, Portland?
Just make it a Nazi state. You can party there.
Did you see the video
Make it Nazi Israel.
Did you see the video coming out of Portland last night of the guy on fire?
No, that's cool. Like a Antifa, 90s music
Antifa
video.
Threw a Molotov cocktail, and then some idiot decided to run through it. And so now Trump retweeted a video of an Antifa person just trying to get his legs not on fire anymore. And I think it was a one-word tweet, sick.
I don't think these riots are going to drum up that much sentiment, that much pro-Trump sentiment. Not stuff that he already has.
Well, they need to stop having people die. That would be great if they could stop. If people could stop shooting people.
Yeah, but you know, it's like I don't really care about the protests, because it's like you know, reaping what they sow and whatnot.
Okay.
Once you lose your legitimate monopoly on force, you know, this is what happens. Shouldn't have killed all those black kids. Shouldn't have done it in the first place.
But now we don't. We want to stop people from dying more, arguably. So
yeah.
They need to...
Oh, yeah. Well, what am I going to do? I'm just going to go to a protest to a guy, like, looting with a bat and be like, excuse me, sir.
You could.
No, fuck that shit. That's some narc shit. That's some snitch shit.
You don't... No, it's not if you just go and be like, don't do that. But if you were to videotape it and then get them arrested later, that would be narc shit.
Yeah, that would be some narc shit, snitch shit. But,
you know.
Yeah, why is there no... I also think it's because... The issue with BLM is it's very loose, but it also, unfortunately, I think, has succumbed somewhat to commodification of dissent land, where BLM is a very marketable message, and, you know, it gets perverted and used in order for capitalism to serve up a woke brand.
People are making a lot of money off of selling shirts and T-shirts and hats with, you know, slogans on it. Every time another person is killed, you get the cash register goes off, and there's a new shirt with another name you can print on it.
That's such a grim... But, you know, usually they're going towards bail funds or something like that. Someone might be skimming something from overhead, but let's hope they're going to bail funds.
Yeah, okay. But you bailing out people like that was arrested in Manhattan last night. There's there's this daughter of a Manhattan real estate agent who was arrested for $100,000 worth of vandalism in Manhattan. I mean, the protests are given a bad
look.
That's
cool. That's cool as hell, though. Fuck Manhattan. Fuck that shit. Let's return it to the 70s.
Yeah. Jokerfied.
We're bringing back the Warriors.
We're getting Jokerfied.
We're bringing back the Warriors.
I wish there were. Where are the anti-Joker movie people right now? Because this is we've gotten too Jokerfied.
Scott Adams was very
Scott Adams.
That legendary Scott Adams movie where it's like, the Joker is the most persuasive movie. It is persuading everyone. You think Todd Phillips You think Todd Phillips is sitting there? Oh, he'd really start a cultural revolution with this Joker-ass movie.
He did. Look what happened.
Maybe he was. Maybe Todd Phillips, there was a metric to his design.
What happened. Before we didn't have violent riots, then came the Joker movie, and now we have violent riots.
Exactly. Nothing else happened.
Nothing else happened in between.
Nothing else happened. It's going to be, the new timeline is PJ and pre-J.
Yeah, dude, the timeline...
Post-J and pre-J.
The timeline 1,000 years from now is going to be basically like a movie came out and then America fell apart.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like, what was the last movie where everything fell apart? Well, like War of the Worlds wasn't a movie, but the radio broadcast made everything fall apart for a short bit. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear, it's obviously not a thing that happens, so. Mm-hmm. But the narrative might be. I don't know. We just have to get rid of the internet completely, and then and then we'll be okay.
Mills. We'll all be millers.
Yeah.
We'll all live near rivers, and it will be a grain-based society, and we will eat grain.
We will eat the grain.
And we will be very fat from our grain consumption.
No, we just have to get rid of the internet completely. Just completely get rid of the internet. The only people allowed to have the internet are, like, people who are doing hard science.
I think, well, it's funny. I was thinking about company towns recently, and I was thinking about, you mentioned the NBA Wildcat strike earlier, and sort of what allowed a lot of the early labor movement to thrive was the fact that the workers all lived in close proximity to each other. So not only were they work friends, but they had free time after to discuss things with their coworkers. And the NBA Wildcat strike, happened when all of these NBA players were living in the same hotel. So I think there is something about labor movements thriving when people are geographically proximate to their labor cohort.
Yeah, you're talking about a community?
Yes, a community is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't have that. We haven't had that.
Yeah, because of the internet. Precisely because of the internet.
That's why I want to get rid of the internet. So if you want to go talk to someone, it has to be someone that lives near you.
Yeah.
And then you can...
I think that is the...
And then because you share a materialist interest in common, you can generate your own politics from the ground up that way. Yeah.
I think we underestimate the value of geographically proximate associations.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Guy Debord that talked about psychogeography?
No idea.
Okay, I don't know much about the Situationists, but sort of a vague idea is that...
Oh, here's the situation.
Mike, yes, many a joke has been made about Mike the Situationist Sorrentino.
Nice.
Where he's like quoting Guy Debord and talking about abstract French shit. But in a Jersey Shore voice. Remember Jersey Shore?
Hell yeah. Getting drunk on wine and hair gel.
That my favorite fact is, do you know what Jersey Shore was called in Japan?
No.
Macaroni Rascals. Isn't that the best thing of all time?
Perhaps they will let me in and then no one else. Japan. I wish to live there.
Go to Nihon. Become Nihon man. I was trying to learn, I'm trying to do Duolingo Japanese because I'm a big weeb, big fucked up weeb.
Yeah, I'm doing the same with Danish.
That's, what do you want to learn in Danish? Kierkegaard?
No, I just want to live there.
Oh yeah, Denmark's pretty cool. Why not Denmark?
Hell yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, become a water person. They're all water people.
Little, very primary colored row houses that are very tall. Very cool. Very cool. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Mm-hmm. There you
anyway,
go.
what you learning Japanese on Duolingo?
Well, not really, but just, you ever just futz around with Duolingo because you're bored? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I was learning some hiragana.
Of course, then Duolingo will send you emails for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, they'll guilt you. Do your language exercises, or we'll fucking rape the owl. We're gonna rape the goddamn owl.
Oh man.
That's what they should do. They should send you envelopes with like ears in them. Yes. That's my language. If you don't learn this language, we're coming for your kids. We'll kidnap your daughter if you don't keep it up.
Well, one thing I learned is that Danish is hard. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's very
They got
hard.
vowels. They got all sorts of vowels.
Well, all
vowels
the letters.
you never
It's
heard of
weird
before.
because they have all the same letters, but they're pronounced differently. So I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. H is pronounced
G is like, How is
and O, you know, it is actually
oh, the
and
letter
so
B.
Danish ends up sounding like it sounds like backward Swedish.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Real fucking fuck the Danes is what I'm saying. Fuck 'em Danes.
It would be sweet to live there. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Everything's expensive. It's
Yeah.
It's very conformist. If you're not conformist, if you don't want to conform, then it's not cool. And there's societal pressure to conform.
Fucking
And
Danish conformists.
it's kind of like, I don't know, like in Germany, like this is different, but it's I think the same in Denmark. You kind of have to like decide what you're gonna do, and then do it, and then
Yeah, the gymnasium system.
that's crazy in Germany.
Yeah, it's very restrictive. It's very like
But they like it. They like it.
pick a path and follow it. Yeah, well, it suits the German mind.
Whoa, spicy take there.
Germans, you know,
Yeah,
Germans. I make fun of them.
can't generalize, man.
Can you get offended? Will a German get offended if you're like, you are stereotypically you are known to be humorless, rigid, and robot-like?
Germans
in
are
demeanor?
pathologically non-offended now. They have gone through.
Well, a lot of them, but some of them still carry the torch.
Yeah, I guess there is a sort of the AFD.
Yes, there's those guys. There was recently a QAnon rally in Berlin,
right, that's
which was
so
38,000 strong.
That's so funny.
With like, yeah,
I'm so glad that they are in with the new religion, the new cult.
QAnon is really the closest thing we got to a new spiritual movement.
Yeah, it's badass.
Complete with chants, where we go one, we go all. In the absence of God, we have Q.
Yeah, they have to set up some temples, and then they can become tax-free. Someone should clue them into that. You can start making a lot of money.
Miscarriage.
Yeah, you can start making a lot of money. Those two guys in the Philippines that run it, they should come back.
Those guys are very ugly, hilariously ugly. It's like a Monty Python character in heavy fright makeup.
What is that guy's name? Watkins? Jim.
Ian Watkins? No, Ian Watkins is the guy
Jim,
that raped the baby.
Jim Watkins, I thought, is the name of the guy in the Philippines.
Jim Watkins.
Isn't
But his
it?
name is spelled weird, like Gyme or something like that. Jim Watkins.
No, it's just Jim Watkins. He lives in the Philippines. He runs 8chan.
And he is, like, by all evidence, he is Q. He's the guy doing the Q drops. His IPAs have been associated.
Right.
What are those things called? IPs. Just IPs, not IPAs.
No, he's
not
yeah,
India Pale. Internet Protocol Ales.
He's suspect number one in terms of being Q. It's either him or he knows who it is. Because the trip code at one point changed, and it was like, I don't know. There've been, who knows.
There are multiple. I mean, the multiple Q theory I'm into. I think that probably makes sense. It's probably just a network of guys that have access to the same internal VPN or something.
Do you think
like
it's
that.
a CIA honeypot to find the crazies?
No, I think it's a group of ideologically committed pedophiles, which is weird because it's anti-pedophile, but it's the ultimate psyop.
Yeah, might be pedos themselves.
Yeah, I think if Q were real, wouldn't Q himself probably be a pedophile trying to control your mind? Like, if you believe in conspiracies and trust no one, then why would you trust Q? You know, I mean, but that's not the logic of conspiracy theories, right?
I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, I should listen to that podcast that's about it, the QAnon podcast.
The QAnon Anonymous podcast is very good. I would highly recommend it. It has a lot of information.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out later.
But what's cool is what's sad is how like cool the original founder of 8chan is.
No, not cool. The little guy, the little weird guy. The little
Yeah,
he's not
he
cool.
is osteogenesis. He's cool.
He also lives in the Philippines.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
he's normal.
No,
he's a normal guy.
No.
No, he's not a pedo.
No. Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Wrong.
He's not good.
No, he's fine.
No, he's not.
He's fine. He was just a 4chan. He was just a weeb. That's the worst thing you can accuse
You talking
him
about
of.
Hot Wheels?
Oh, no.
That's his alias.
No.
That is his alias.
Okay.
That is his own alias, and he is not cool.
Why is he? Give me an example of him being not cool.
Hold on. Oh, because he wrote for the Daily Stormer. There you go.
What? Okay, that's bad.
Supports voluntary sterilizations of people with inheritable genetic conditions because his according to him, his entire life is a nightmare.
That's pretty cool. Well, he's got a different perspective
He's
on
a
it,
Nazi.
you know?
He's a Nazi, so he's not cool.
Is he a Nazi? I thought he was cool.
No, he's not cool.
Okay.
He's not as bad as Jim Watkins.
Okay, that's
But,
good.
you know...
Well, he's a lot... He figures... They interview him a lot on the QAnon Anonymous podcast. And he seems... Whatever traits that he had once before, he seems to have abandoned them.
Yes, he says he has become a Christian and ceased to believe in encouraging sterilization.
Okay, whatever floats your boat. However you get to it.
I mean, there's also some people who think he might be Q.
Maybe he is Q. Maybe it's the whole double
He's
bluff.
a free speech guy.
Yeah, but he was a free speech guy, but his experience with 8chan soured him to it.
Yeah.
Because he saw what happened.
Same thing happened to Moot.
Yeah. I mean, it showed, the ideological commitment, the experiment of 4chan failed conclusively. That unfettered free speech inevitably leads to this incredibly powerful campaign of misinformation and repetitive imagery that fascists can abuse.
Yeah.
Or at least is conducive to,
Well, is it
ideologically molding somebody.
Is it better? Is the American version better, where we have we proclaim that we have unfettered free speech, and then the CIA just disappears you?
No, I don't think it's better. Well, it is better to some degree because there is some because they do root out the Klan. However bad America was, they did start rooting out the Klan eventually, you know.
Yeah, well, if you believe the media now, the Klan is now just the police.
Yeah. Well, some of them.
Some of them. Yeah, some of them.
Some of those that burn crosses.
But, you know,
are the same that work forces.
What do you think about Bernie saying we should just try to pay them more to attract better people?
That's a terrible idea. Strengthening cop unions is not...
Well, he didn't say to strengthen the unions, but just to raise the pay of officers so we attract better quality people.
I think that actually there is something to that. I think it would involve... I guess raising the pay would be good. Demilitarizing is huge. In Canada, cops are paid fairly well. I think cops are pretty bad in Toronto, but if we're comparing them to American cops, there's no comparison. It's way better on all fronts. Even though they do just as horrible things, they do it less frequently than American cops. And I think a lot of that has to do with the higher caliber of talent that they attract because they have better pay.
Yeah, I think better pay would help.
It's not just a problem with better pay. It's also like a culture thing. It's this really subjective...
You got to be careful with that, because that's when you talk about crime, you can't use that argument, because the argument with crime is that it's caused by poverty, not the culture. And that if you just made people less poor, they wouldn't be committing so much violent crime.
No, I think it's both. I would think it's because there is a veneration of... But I don't think... There's a systemic and a cultural cause always. You can never extract both of them because they feed into each other. It's an Ouroboros.
Yeah.
The social environment informs the economic environment, informs the bureaucratic environment, and it all goes in a cycle. So, it's the fixing the structural part of it. I think that's the easy part, where it's like talking about taking away their fucking tanks, putting more money into mental health programs, and giving them better pay, incentivizing them to be more careful, But there are other systemic problems too, which is just a total lack of respect for internal or external review.
Yeah, we need Democrat Ronald Reagan to come break the police unions.
That's a really, some sort of... I mean, police unions are so weird. It's so... they just operate in this whole level outside of the labor argument, because police are the labor busters, but they themselves are laborers. So, they're turncoats is what they are. They're like Seath the Scaleless from Dark Souls, who so envied the everlasting stone scales of the dragons that he joined Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, in his vengeance and conquest against them.
Here, you gotta skip the lore parts.
The lore is the best part. The lore is like the fuck you talking about.
The only game with good lore is Morrowind. Where it's all like Elandril was caught in a river and lost his pants. Can you retrieve them?
Lord of the Rings is funny.
Yeah.
It has created so many memes, so many tropes. Like Elandril, the name Elandril. What if all of just fantasy language was just this ersatz version of Welsh?
Right.
That's it. It's Welsh and a bit of Norwegian in there. So everyone is called Ariafer or Forfafir
or Catherine
or
Zeta-Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Mr. Jones, the Welsh explorer, the Hobbit Jones. Fucking Welshmen. The greatest men to have ever existed.
Wasn't there supposed to be an Amazon Lord of the Rings thing?
Yes! I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it.
I guess all production on stuff has gotten halted.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Hey, you know what?
Did you see the trailer for the new Batman?
Yeah, what did you think? Mixed opinions. Are you excited about Batman? Have you ever been excited about Batman?
I mean, I was excited about Batman in the year 2006.
Dark Knight. Batman Begins.
But I didn't like those movies. I liked the Batman comics, but I didn't like the Nolan movies because I thought they were really badly edited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to like Batman. I told Caitlin that there was going to be another Batman, and she was like, "What? another Batman?
Another one? So soon?" Yeah, I mean, they really pooched it with Batfleck.
Oh boy, but I mean, he seemed I like Robert Pattinson. I just feel like anytime you do Batman, it's like kind of bad for your career. I don't think anyone has done Batman and then gone on to have like better career.
Christian Bale?
Yeah, what has he like? Has he?
No. There is one very important exception to that, which is George Clooney, who got a start in movies as a result of Batman, and then is now everyone's special little guy. But you're right. For all other examples, Batman has sort of depleted someone's career. It's taken them.
It's just.
But that's the thing: is Batman and Robin was so bad that nobody associates George Clooney with Batman.
That's kind of the only good Batman movie.
It is. You're right. Batman and Robin is the only good Batman movie.
I mean,
what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Yeah, the one that I go back to the most because it's the stupidest. The one that, Batman and Robin is the Batman movie that I've watched more than any other one. And also, adding homoeroticism, just pure, uncut bat nipple, bat cup, homoeroticism, fondling balls, Chris O'Donnell, fondling balls, Got Alicia Silverstone because she gotta be not gay, but nah, it's just gay.
Gotta be not gay.
Yeah. Gotta be not gay. Whoa. There's a new video game mascot. It's gotta be not gay. I'm hetero man. I'm not gay. That's my whole thing. I'm not gay.
I think Batman's pretty played out.
But yeah, this new Batman trailer where it's noir. He's hunting serial killers, and he gets boots that you can get at the store.
Are they gonna make this Batman tie into Joker with Joaquin? You think?
I sure hope not. I think that would be stupid.
Or is Joaquin?
I think the standalone movie idea is a better idea.
Well, there's going to be a Joker 2, because Joker 1 was so satisfying to so many people, because it was like a little bit of a commentary. Where
I don't think there's going to be a Joker 2.
yeah, I thought they announced it.
Yeah, I guess there probably will.
Didn't they announce it?
They already announced it?
Let me check.
Is it going to have, like, Harley Quinn in it?
I mean, not the same one for... Not the same one.
That would be fun. That would be a clash of tones. Mr. J!
Yeah, no, he says...
I'm twitching all the time.
Todd Phillip has refuted Joker 2. He refuted it.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I feel the better move would just to be get like another Batman villain, just to do like that type of movie, but do Two-Face or something like that. Yeah. Or like do another movie
also
where
with
it's
Joaquin,
like a well-known...
To just be Joaquin Phoenix as every...
Joaquin Phoenix is Two-Face.
He's every different Batman villain. Joaquin
Phoenix is Poison Ivy.
He is Catwoman.
They're all the same character. They're all just stuttering losers.
Yeah.
Not stuttering losers. Stuttering working class people.
It's just...
We don't respect our working class clowns.
It's the first... same exact first half of Joker, and he gets into the fridge, except each time he gets out of the fridge, he's a different villain.
Yeah.
I've got a magic fridge.
I'm Two-Face now. I don't know why my Joker impression is John Malkovich, but I'm just going with it. Yeah. I'm the Joker. Look at how funny I am. Ha ha. Ha ha. I forgot. I could do a pretty good Malkovich, all right.
Yeah, you should.
Do you see what I am doing here? I am an agent of chaos, and you will succumb to my Joker antics, Batman. Yeah, John Malkovich should be a Batman. Why has he not been any sort of comic book villain yet?
Yeah.
I need him.
He would be good as Batman.
Villain. He would be.
He would be very funny as Batman.
Prepare to face my fist of justice. You killed my parent. Or he tries to do a growl voice, but it's like, I'm John Malkovich. He can't do it. He's too classically trained. I'm Batman. He just sounds like Marge Simpson or Kamala Harris.
Oh, snap. Big announcement from the Biden campaign this week. Actually, no, there wasn't.
Well, there is going to be a debate, apparently, nearing the end of
God.
September. We are getting the Trump-Biden debate.
Thank God.
Which hopefully will serve up some laughs.
Oh, man.
As we wander into this dying apocalyptic phase of our current political paradigm.
Yeah, Trump's going to just bully the shit out of him, I think. I imagine it's Trump's just going to be like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He can hardly talk. Look at him.
I think bullying Biden is a bad idea. Biden's a good bully.
Yeah.
Listen here, fat.
I think it'll
just devastating.
I think it might be one of the most entertaining heavyweight championship fights ever, you know?
I don't want to hype it in my phrase too much, because like I saw the RNC, and the main feature of the RNC was the fact that it was exceedingly boring. I feel like we're in like to be on the nose. The decline. We are in the ultimate decline of this sort of political movement, which was sort of founded on these fumes of nothingness, on nothing but meme magic, on, you know, sort of putting this idea out there that was totally fantastical. And now that you see the results, you know, you can't capture that same magic. The thing with Trump before is that he was untested. He could have done anything. Maybe his plucky, Mr. Smith goes to Washington like, earthy know-how would have proven effective. But, to anyone who's not dumb, that was obvious that wasn't going to happen. But to certain people...
I'm finding it very odd how everyone is saying, like, no matter what happens, it's going to be the worst possible outcome. And I'm finding it very tiresome, all this constant pessimism.
Yeah, I think, yes, Biden will diffuse leftist movements. I mean, it's up to people to try and get universal health care, and you got to bully the Democrats on it, you know. Well, you got to just constantly put pressure on them.
A little bit of street violence has everybody thinking it's the end of the world.
Yeah, no, it's...
And the thing about America is that there is street violence without a political motivation every day in every major city.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that now we have politically motivated street violence a little bit it's not anything really historically new, and it's nothing to start, prepping. You don't have to prep for the apocalypse.
Is this the end of zombie Shakespeare? Is this the end of America?
Yeah, we used to do politics with political riots primarily.
We had this shit with fucking Obama. Remember Ferguson?
Yeah.
Ferguson was crazy.
Yeah. It's just,
This
it's gonna
is
be
not
okay.
new.
It's gonna be okay, no matter who wins.
It's not well.
Yes. It's gonna be okay no matter... It's
gonna be fine.
I believe that. It's gonna be basically okay, no matter who wins.
It's going to be okay for certain sets of people, including us. We'll be fine.
If Biden wins, the police aren't gonna start being great.
Maybe they will.
No.
Maybe he'll just be like, now, come on, man, cut that out, all right?
If Obama
Just cut
couldn't
it
do
out,
anything,
okay?
if Obama couldn't do anything about the police, then why will Biden be able to do anything about it?
You see, because Obama, a great guy, Barack O'Siskel, but he's coming at this from like a different perspective. Me, I got an authoritarian. I got an idea about me. Come on, man. I'll just go down there, go to every police union, say, cut it out.
Well,
all right, cut it out.
I mean, the president has no authority to do anything about the police. So,
no. Why would it be better under Biden? I think just because Biden is more predictable, I suppose he would probably rest a lot of his power to... not rest. He would probably delegate a lot of his power to his cabinet. He'd sort of be like a DNC puppet, essentially. He already is a DNC puppet.
Yeah, I mean, Biden is the safer choice, I would say, to vote for Biden. But you don't have to be you don't have to be terrified, I don't think. You don't have to think that democracy is ending. I also don't think the fears of like Trump, doing a Putin-like coup, I also think are unfounded. Yeah.
I think he's far too dumb. I think there is no... See, the problem is Putin is extremely smart, and he has, a cadre of incredibly smart, devious people around him. And he is also willing to use extreme forms of violence, which, Trump...
That I don't... this poisoning of Navalny...
Oh, the poisoning is bullshit, but he, like, early Putin
I don't know
like,
if Putin did this poisoning.
I don't know if he did this.
Why would he poison this guy and also Skripal with just enough poison to make it obvious that it was a Russian poison and not enough poison to kill them?
Also, poison, woman's weapon. Putin would never... He's too misogyny. Poison is woman's
I'm just going to
weapon.
poison them.
We'll kill him with scimitar.
Just enough so that everyone knows it was the Russians, but not enough to kill them.
Yeah, I think it's part of the growing, the sort of Russia... I mean, Russia, it has been said before that Russia is QAnon for libs,
Yeah.
It is easier to blame it on this gigantic, structural, unseen force than it is to accept the fact that the system is nothing and is built on chaos.
Oh, yes.
And
chaos.
All of your heroes and structures and authority figures will fail you.
I think, they need to attribute more to chaos than just to our Russian adversary.
Mm-hmm.
With their Sputnik vaccine.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of a Chaos Witch Quelaag from Dark Souls, where the Witch of Izalith, she tried to actually create a new First Flame, which is a big no-no. So she ended up accidentally blowing herself up and creating a land of demons and monsters, from which all chaos springs. And all of her daughters became spider ladies.
And this is Mario versus Rabbids?
This is Mario versus Rabbids. Very deep lore. Very deep lore. Getting deep into this lore. I call my boyfriend Lore because I'm deep into him.
You should get a boyfriend named Lore.
That's the name of Data's evil brother from Star Trek.
You should get a robot boyfriend. What you should get is one of those. You should get one of those real dolls. I'll have that as,
you're right.
You're
right. Real dolls.
Let's get a real doll on the pod next time. Ask it questions. Just have dead air.
Be funny.
Shh! I can hear it.
And we say interesting, and we just fill in the blanks. Yeah. And we just wait. Well, let's do it right now. Let's just wait for 3 seconds. Oh, and so your father took advantage of you, is what you're saying. Stuff like that.
Did we talk about Phantom Thread last pod?
We did talk about Phantom Thread, but let's talk about it again.
No,
it's
just
my
wanted
favorite.
to make
it's
sure.
my favorite movie.
It's not.
We didn't talk about the ultimate piano riff that Johnny Greenwood invented for it, which goes. Did
he do the music for Phantom Thread?
Bling bling bling. What?
Did he do the music for Phantom Thread?
Yeah, Johnny Greenwood, my man Johnny Greenwood.
That's so funny.
Radiohead's not that bad.
They're doing,
and his music for Phantom Thread was great because it wasn't overtly stolen from Penderecki.
Yeah, well, yeah. I had no idea he did that for Phantom Thread. That's funny. I liked it a lot more than the music for There Will Be Blood. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, actually, no. I really like There Will Be Blood soundtrack, and Johnny Greenwood is the first to be like, yeah, I like Penderecki, and I did a Penderecki. I did a Threnody. I did a Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima.
He's almost like Michael Caine.
That's a British Threnody. It's a Threnody. Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima.
Threnody.
I don't know how Johnny Greenwood talks.
Yeah, he talks just like Michael Caine, just like all British people.
Exactly. Michael Caine. The thing about it, when I was in Radiohead, I wrote this on Creep, and it was like, Tom, this is bloody shit.
We should be due out for a new Radiohead album, right? Aren't they? Are they working on one?
They're always working, those buddies. It's going to be a COVID album. It's going to be called Virus Man, and it's going to have Tom York dancing obtusely in the promo material.
Well, yeah. Ed O'Brien said a new album will definitely happen. Mm-hmm. But
great.
And I think I'm seeing that they were gonna do a tour, but then COVID messed up the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh no, they can't go to Israel.
Did they?
Remember that kerfuffle when Radiohead refused to BDS?
Oh, really?
And people were mad at Radiohead for not BDS.
I think Nick Cave refused to BDS as well.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom. You gotta riff. You gotta vamp for a second. I'm
gonna vamp while Steven uses the bathroom. The thing that I think is funny, I do think that that artists should BDS when given the opportunity. I think Israel... The argument that people use is that, look, America does just as many atrocities as Israel, so, why not stop touring in America? And I think that is a good point, but what I would argue in turn is that it's not economically realistic for an artist to stop touring in America, while it is very economically realistic for them to stop touring in Israel. And to put pressure on Israel is to put pressure on sort of the vanguard of America's imperial foreign policy in the Middle East, because a lot of the struggles there, especially with our government, come from our positions on Palestine. The fact that we can't, unite with Syria and Jordan and all these countries that might otherwise be amenable to our diplomacy, but because we so focus on keeping apartheid and Israel together, we refuse peace. We make peace impossible. And I'm not talking about something like the recent deal with the UAE, where they just throw Palestine under the bus in order to have some vague economic trade deal with America be unproblematic, but really more of something that offers a displaced people and the people politically sympathetic to those displaced people something more, which of course will never happen. And Steven's back, and my phone is ringing.
Oh shit! Who's calling you?
I'm just gonna turn this off a little. My old friend Robin must answer. I'm gonna answer. Let's have her on the pod for like the last 5 minutes. Woo, Robin, you're on the podcast. You've guessed it on the last part of the podcast. What you're saying, Robin? We're recording now. Talk about your feelings. Talk about your feelings. God damn it! You're ruining the podcast, Robin.
Right now, I feel fantastic. I'm living life to the fullest. I am taking care of myself. I am engaging in a lot of, not spiritual activities, but eco-spiritual activities.
Hell yeah.
Forest bathing.
Fuck the Irvings.
Forest bathing?
Forest bathing.
Well,
Forest bathing.
We don't like the Irvings over here.
Fuck the Irvings. That's all I'm gonna say about New Brunswick politics. Sorry for doxing you. You're in New Brunswick somewhere.
That's okay. Let us all be docs. Docs the world is what I say.
There you go. Dox the Irvings and go to their houses and smear shit on their walls.
I'm a fan of the poop bag myself, but smearing is also a more intimate activity.
Schmear.
Smear.
Talking about schmear.
Schmear, sorry.
It's pronounced
Thank you for correcting my pronunciation.
Schmear.
You're always there for me.
Okay, Robin, I'll call you back. I'm gonna finish this up right now. Thank you for calling. It's our first call-in guest we've ever had. We'll see if Steven can work the audio to make it listenable somehow. I doubt he will be able to.
All right. Sounds great.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
It sounded great. Don't worry. No audio work
All right.
needs to be needed.
There you go. And that was our first ever. That was the first ever lady we've had on the podcast.
Wow.
Unexpectedly.
Well, we'll have to edit that out. And now that I know it's a lady.
There you go. We don't hire women.
Hey, well, we don't.
We should have Robin back for a full. We should have her back for the metal episode too, actually, because she is very well versed in metal.
Oh, cool.
And I would like her takes on things.
Yes. I was listening to a lot more Sepultura. They're so funny.
They are very funny because they're like the Cavaleras are the Bill and Ted of metal.
So I was listening to their album Schizophrenia, where the drummer, his toms are completely out of tune. So whenever he does a roll, it is hilarious. And then the guitar player, for his solos, is out of tune. And I just love that they're out of tune. And it's because it really feels, you can really get a sense of their personality, because so much metal these days is so sanitized and is like everything is correct.
It sounds like MIDI keyboards.
Everything is completely corrected. There are no mistakes. Everything, like I don't.
Yeah, I was listening to Animals as Leaders the other day.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, that is like, I respect their technical expertise, but it does have that MIDI keyboard feel.
Animals as Leaders is not cool. I saw them live. I saw them live once, and it's kind of more impressive live, but it is just him. It's just him with a guitar and a backing track.
Yeah.
So,
is it?
It was when I saw him. Sometimes it's not.
Okay.
Sometimes he hired. I think that was before he sort of blew up, and now he has a full band. But but Meshuggah's like that now too. Everything is fucking perfect, and it's a little annoying. There's no point in seeing Meshuggah live because it's like. It sounds just like the album.
And that's what's great about old Relapse Records albums is the nice imperfections.
Yes, I recommend Schizophrenia by Sepultura because just for the tom sound. It's
the official podcast rec.
It's such a funny
Schizophrenia.
The tom's like when he hits the.
It sounds distinctive. Yeah, we're creating a really distinctive drum sound by having a really shitty drum sound.
It's good. I mean, because whenever when I did my little bit of drumming, I would always, pretend to tune the toms and then just make it horrible. So I'm like, I recognize that sound.
Yeah. See, that's who we should have statues to, is Max Cavalera. That guy never did anything bad.
Oh, God, yeah. More musician statues, because the musicians, they don't do anything bad.
No, more R. Kelly statues is what we're saying.
Yeah. How can I make piss out of marble?
I mean, it'd be pretty easy to convey piss. You just have just a tube, with occasional droplets coming.
Yeah, but how do you suspend droplets with marble?
You wouldn't suspend them. What I mean is, you have like little pludes, on the tube of piss coming from the penis.
I mean, you could actually have the marble statue with a fountain coming through it.
I suppose you could have a fountain, but it's yellow Gatorade.
We should go around finding Cupid fountains and with a label machine and just putting R. Kelly on the Cupid fountain.
This is a depiction of R. Kelly. That would, I like, you should so the funniest solution to the statue problem I heard recently was, look, we're going to depict John A. McDonald, but we'll just have him punching an Indian kid in the face to show what he was really like. So you get to have your statue, and you get to have your wokeness. There. You happy?
Yeah, I don't know. Public statues, I take your point about public statues being weirdly, authoritarian in terms of like, this is what we believe and you have to believe it. So, yeah,
I think if we have statues, there's a way that art can be anti-authoritarian, which I think, the old tradition of big-ass Trafalgar Square public statues, or big-ass Roman statues it's not really anti-authoritarian art. Or it's not really art that promotes anti-authoritarianism, rather art that encourages you to look at these people as some sort of authority. And while I think you should look to people as authority on some things, when you do it this way, it's like, this is the God man who you should see as an authority on everything, as opposed to, recognizing their flaws. Because, that's, literally a guy in statue. He's iron. He will never change.
Did
he
John
is
McDonald,
there for eternity.
Did John McDonald ever win any big battles?
If you count, crushing the Red River Rebellion a big battle.
Was that a native uprising?
But I can't think of any wartime stuff. I'm sure he definitely quashed lots of, popular dissent against him using the RCMP, but yeah, I can't remember any wars that he was a part of at the time.
I mean, Canada, I don't know much about Canada's founding, but you guys didn't really have, you guys more of had like an agreement, right?
Yeah, the Loyalists came up north and they were like, we're just gonna chill out for a second, still like the king.
Wait, what's his first name? Is it John? No.
Johnny McDonald.
John McDonald.
John A. McDonald.
When I Google him, it's like a baseball player for the Anaheim Angels.
That's who he was. He was also a baseball player. John McDonald.
Okay, here we go. Wikipedia.
Yeah, fuck 12. John, I heard fuck 12 the other day and now I can't get it out of my head.
Is, what? They don't.
It's an anti-police
slogan. They don't
slogan.
graffiti that anymore, I don't think.
Nah, they probably don't. But John A. McDonald, fuck 12, cut off his statue heads, cut them all down. My views do not necessarily reflect Steven's views. Fuck them all. Fuck them all to death.
Yeah, no,
House of Decline.
I agree with destroying statues of which I'm ideologically opposed, like
yes.
Saddam Hussein,
yes,
Assad, Stalin, Pol Pot,
Emo Phillips.
Yeah, Louis C.K. ideologically.
Louis C.K. statues, all the Louis C.K. statues in Boston.
I want to destroy all the Louis C.K. statues because I hated him before it was cool, and I took flack for hating Louis C.K.
I'm a big jerk.
When I thought it was stupid that he's just making fun of his own children for a living. I think that's disgusting.
My daughter's vaginas.
I think he's a disgusting.
My jokes are about my daughter's vaginas.
Gross. Fake artist.
He's so brilliant.
He's
like a French filmmaker.
Boring TV for people with small brain disease.
Yes.
And that's House of Decline's stance. Maybe not Alex.
No, fuck Louis. Fuck his entire oeuvre. I don't give a shit. I can easily discard it. I'm not married to it at all.
Yeah, well.
Fuck Louis. Good night, folks.
We'll be back next week. Make sure to like and subscribe on the website.
Just review us on iTunes.
Put on it on the web at www.website.com.
www.blowme.com.
www.houseofdecline.com.